It's a beautiful day for baseball, and live from Salt River Field on the outskirts of Scottsdale, Arizona, Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Colorado Rockies as the Dodgers getting ready to play their 12th exhibition game of the young season. Hi again, everybody. Charlie Steiner, Rick Monday. Couple of pieces of good news from the Dodgers injury list. Corey Seager, the knee, still a problem, but no surgery, not likely to be on the disabled list for opening day. There was some consideration of that just 24 hours ago. They expect him to resume full baseball activities in about 10 days to 2 weeks. JT, Justin Turner, thought to be merely a DH tomorrow. In fact, will play 4 or 5 innings. The expectation, he'll be good to go on opening day. Good to go this Sunday afternoon. Clayton Kershaw making his 3rd start of the spring.
If we're looking at the left-hander, not only, if you're Dave Roberts, the manager, or Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach, and Clayton Kershaw comes in and says, look, by the way, I want to extend it to 5 innings, which he said today, and forget the designated hitter, I want to hit. You're going to say no? Well, he's going to not only go 5 innings, depending upon the pitch count, but he's going to bat, which I think is a very good thing. He understands he can help himself. He wants to get ready for it, so he's going to not only pitch and go to 5, he will bat in the number 9 spot. I would look for him today to maybe start throwing the curveball a little bit more. He's shown it, maybe not as consistent as what we normally see with Clayton Kershaw, but it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to work on a lot of things today.
And one of the things we have noticed, and you certainly pointed out last night, the aggressive posture the Dodgers have taken on the base paths.
And it was the message that Dave Roberts delivered to his team, Charlie, the very first day when they had the team meeting. They said, look, we need to improve in the base running. Yesterday, last night, in the 2nd inning, anticipating Chase Utley at 3rd base. We'll get another look. Now watch the secondary lead. He sees it, he anticipates it, and it was a big run at the time. The same inning. Austin Barnes now is the runner at 3rd base. Anticipating, sees it, reads it very well. These are the things, and I talked to Dave in his office earlier this morning, right before we left to come over to the stadium. He said, look, he was really happy with the way that things happened. He was about to go in and have a team meeting. He said, one of the first things I'm going to say is keep the aggressiveness, just as we saw last night. We just showed you that took place in last night's game. I love the way they're running the bases now.
And one of the interesting young players of the spring so far, Cody Bellinger, once again going to be starting at 1st base today. He's hitting over 400, and he's really made quite an impression. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the lineups and first pitch. It's the Dodgers and Colorado Rockies on this beautiful Sunday afternoon on the outskirts of Scottsdale. second game of the spring. Clayton Kershaw getting ready for his third start. A look ahead of the Dodgers schedule this week. Got the Brewers on Monday and the White Sox on Tuesday. Of course, the Dodgers and the White Sox share the facility over at Glendale, so categorically it is a road game, but so be it. The Rockies again on Wednesday, the Royals on Thursday. Friday, back here at Talking Stick. And then on Saturday afternoon, back on television, the Dodgers and the White Sox. In the meantime, we're getting ready for the lineups in the first pitch. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Colorado Rockies coming up next. Pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game next.
Fields at Talking Stick in the northeastern part of Scottsdale, Arizona, on an absolutely drop-dead gorgeous day. There are clouds way off into the distance. But for the Dodgers, a record so far 7 wins, 2 losses, and a couple of ties so far in spring training. The Dodgers are moving across the Valley of the Sun, and they will take on the Rockies here this afternoon. Clayton Kershaw not only slated to go 5 innings, said he wanted to hit. So Dave Roberts has him not only on the mound, but he will bat 9th. And the Dodgers will not use the designated hitter in the outset of this ball game. Absolutely glorious weather. There's not a breath of wind to be spoken of. It looks like a sellout crowd. And for the Dodgers and the Rockies here, Rockies share this complex along with the Arizona Diamondbacks. 76 degrees at game time, and it's going to be Jock Peterson leading things off. He'll be in center field. Chase Utley back in the second base position. Andre Ethier will be in left. Scott Van Slyke is in right field. At shortstop, Kike Hernandez. A.J. Ellis will do the catching. At first base, Cody Bellinger. Charlie Culberson has been fantastic defensively. Will be at third base this afternoon, and Clayton Kershaw on the mound, and he will bat in the number 9 position. The umpiring crew, Ted Barrett, is going to work the plate this afternoon to call the balls and strikes and around the bases, and they will change positions as the game goes on. Jim Wolf, Ryan Blackney, and then Chris Siegel as well. The Rockies taking the field here. And for Colorado, it's going to be Charlie Blackmon in center, the designated hitter they'll use. Ryan Rayburn. Nolan Arenado, with a monstrous season last year, will be at third base. Carlos Gonzalez moving back over to right field. At first base, Mark Reynolds, who just joins the Rockies. Gerardo Parra will be in left. DJ LeMahieu, a first-time All-Star last year, will be at second base. Nick Hundley will catching. Christian Adames will be at shortstop. And Jordan Lyles, the big right-hander, getting the start. And for Lyles, his problem over the last couple of years has been both hand and foot injuries. And for the Rockies, as we have talked about on the radio side, a major league high earned run average in their starting pitchers. Their bullpen, a major league high earned run average. And the staff on top of it issued the most walks in Major League Baseball last year, almost 580. So there is room for improvement in that category. So it's going to be Lyles against Kershaw here in this afternoon's contest. Because tomorrow we'll be back at Camelback Ranch against the Milwaukee Brewers. And a glorious afternoon to be working here as the Dodgers at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. And this complex underway. As I mentioned before, looks like a sellout crowd. They are packed in, enjoying the sunshine. And for the play this afternoon's game, we turn it over to Charlie.
It'll be the third consecutive sellout for the Dodgers. Of course, they sold out on Friday afternoon against the Angels back in Glendale, last night against the Cubs, and here about a 45-minute drive from Glendale. They're packed to the rafters for the Dodgers and the Rockies. Last year, the Dodgers 11-8 against Colorado. It's remarkable. Since 2000, the Dodgers are 50 games over 500 against the Rockies, 171-121. Jock Peterson leads it off and takes a call strike, and it's 0-1. Peterson with a home run, 267 on the young spring season, 4 for 15, but he has been struck out 7 times. Lyles delivers a breaking ball high. That is 1 ball and 1 strike. Chase Utley on deck, and Andre Ethier will follow. Now into the wind, Lyles deals. Swing and a miss. As it was an awkward swing, Peterson steps out of the batter's box and kicks his bat in frustration.
Parts in that swing. Started early. Yes, the late kick has been reduced. We've talked about it again yesterday.
The shift is on. The pitch is on the way. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Peterson down on strikes, and we're underway. Now Chase Utley stepping in. Utley's hit the ball solidly in the first couple of weeks. He's 5 for 15. A double, a triple, and a run batted in. You know, the Dodgers' projected opening day infield of Gonzalez, Kendrick, Seager, and Turner have yet to play an inning together. So Utley will be going back and forth between second and third this year. A wild pitch goes to the backstop. 1 ball, no strikes to Chase Utley.
Rockies also putting a shift on with a veteran left-handed hitting in Utley.
Ethier is on deck, so the first 3 hitters today. Peterson, Utley, and Ethier, all southpaws. Lyles deals. Strike on the outside corner. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. A picture-perfect 76 degrees, as Mo mentioned. Nary a breeze. It couldn't be a more lovely day on this Sunday afternoon. Now Utley pops it off to the left and out of play. Defensively for the Rockies, Nolan Arenado at third base. Christian Adames is the shortstop, and he's shaded toward the first base side of second. With DJ LeMahieu, the all-star second baseman, his heels on the outfield grass. Mark Reynolds, now in the journeyman category, is at first. He and Ben Paulson expected to see some time over there this year for Walt Weiss. Now Utley swings and fouls it back. The count remains at 1-2.
And for Lyles, we mentioned the fact hand and foot injuries. The one thing that really helped him last year in the limited time that he was pitching, the split finger, not the fastball, but it was a split finger changeup that he was able to throw through just kind of not only the off velocity, but it just dropped in altitude as it got near home plate.
He's 6'4", 230. Big right-hander, 25 years of age, delivers under the knees to Utley in the dirt. And the count is 2-2.
And a breakdown for Lyles. Fastball last year about 33% of the time. The sinker, the changeup. That was about 8% of the time. A slider to go with it and a curveball. Question is it too many different pitches?
2-2 to Utley. The pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 3 as the bat flies out of Utley's hand and finally rests somewhere between first and second base. Utley down on strikes. There's 2 outs.
Yeah, there's the changeup, and the hitter's just out in front of it. I mentioned yesterday, one of the things that hitters and you're trying to get is pitch recognition in the early going. That was a dandy changeup, which is a field pitch, and you throw that ball early in spring training, you indeed have a good feel of what you're throwing.
Had surgery on his left big toe. The year before, he broke his left hand. Ethier on the first pitch, grounds one to second base. It's backhanded by LeMahieu, throws across his body. Ethier's retired, and the Dodgers go quietly. Nothing across. Clayton Kershaw making his 3rd start of the spring, getting ready for his 6th opening day start when we come back. And at the end of the week, beginning his 8th big league season, getting ready for his 6th consecutive opening day start. Kershaw in 2015, 16-7, a 2.13 ERA, 301 strikeouts in 232 2/3 innings. He'll be facing Charlie Blackmon, to be followed by Ryan Rayburn and Nolan Arenado. Cargo is in the cleanup spot. Mark Reynolds batting 5th. Gerardo Parra, the Dodgers have seen him plenty over the years, now with the Rockies. DJ LeMahieu at second base. Nick Hundley, the catcher. And Christian Adames is the shortstop. Walt Weiss presiding over a team that finished last year 68-94. The left-handed hitting Blackmon, a solid, speedy center fielder, takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Kershaw into the wide, and here's the pitch. Fouled off to the left and out of play into the Dodger dugout. That scatters him. And it's 0-2.
Kershaw draws a big crowd, not just in the stands. I watched him as he was warming up in the bullpen down the left field line today. There were 17 uniformed Dodger personnel watching every move as he warmed up for the game.
Now Blackmon takes high.
I'm talking players. I'm talking some of them are pitchers, coaches, and it was interesting also there was another youngster that was called up today was watching.
There's a line drive base hit into right center field for the speedy Blackmon. Takes the turn at first. Gathered by Van Slyke in right. Blackmon is held to a single, and Blackmon is aboard.
Dodgers, in fact, they called up a couple other minor league players to fill in the roster, and one of them is wearing number 97. We may see him later on, an infielder, Max George. And he was down there watching and talking to some of the other Dodger pitchers and some of the coaches. But they watched every move that Kershaw made, and these are his own people. They're always looking as at what sets this guy head and shoulders above most others.
Ryan Rayburn is the hitter, and he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Just underway, the Dodgers were retired in order in the first inning by Jordan Lyles. Dodgers 11-8 against the Rockies last year, 7-3 at Dodger Stadium, 4-5 in Colorado. There's a knee buckling breaking ball, and it's 1-1 under the knees to Rayburn with Nolan Arenado on deck.
Yeah, Rayburn had been mostly with the Tigers. Last year was with the Indians. Each of the last 2 years with Cleveland.
Serving as the designated hitter this afternoon, and a pickoff at first base. Blackman leaning the wrong way. Kershaw the flip throw, and Bellinger with the slap tag.
Well, I believe the number was 10 at pickoffs last year by Kershaw all around. And a good snappy tag also by Bellinger. It's on the upper back. That was not a come set and then deliver over. That was a come set, break the hand, step off of the left foot, and throw over.
And now the pitch to Rayburn. Swing and a miss. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Although that sequence, you step off first, then break the hands. Otherwise, it's a balk.
Well, we talked about it when he first came up, Kershaw. And that was back in 2008. Fastball missing just outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He didn't have much of a pickoff move when he first came up because in high school, nobody ever got on base against him. And they dare not run against him. And so in his first year or so, it was a question of mastering a new craft. Rayburn fouls it off to the left and out of play. And now he's got among the best pickoff moves in the game.
Clubs have tried to figure out for Kershaw once he comes set. There is a forward lean that he has. He's been called for a balk, that forward lean and then throwing over most of the time, but you get most clubs, most base runners have not figured him out yet.
Now the 2-2, Rayburn takes low and outside, 3-2. A.J. Ellis behind the plate today. Cody Bellinger at first, Chase Utley at second, Kike Hernandez at short, and Charlie Culberson, the one-time Rocky, at third. Andre Ethier is in left, Jock Peterson in center, and Scott Van Slyke in right. And now the 3-2, grounded to third, and a diving stop by Culberson. Picks it up, throws him out, and at the other end, Bellinger digs out the short hop. Some snappy defense from the corners.
And we continue to see Culberson. A couple of games ago, going to his right, knocked it down and got it. Went to his left, knocked it down and got it. Goes to his right here, and then on the backside. Boy, just a very easily done low backhanded scoop by Bellinger, who's been most impressive with the glove we've seen him so far.
And he can hit too. Now Nolan Arenado, talk about impressive with the glove. Arenado, beginning his 4th big league season, he's already the 3-time Gold Glove Award winner. 40 home runs and 130 runs knocked in last year. Arenado, one of the game's elite players now. Takes high and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Kershaw delivers in the dirt. And it's 2-0.
Arenado, 89 extra base hits. Now that's an all-time record in Major League Baseball history for third baseman.
42 home runs, 43 doubles, and 4 triples. Now the pitch on the way from Kershaw's a line drive base hit into left field. Arenado, by the way, has been tearing the cover off the ball this spring as well. So he's got the 2-out single to left. Arenado this spring, with that base hit, is now 11 for 19.
And he will not, well, he's going to turn 25 in April, but he has accomplished a great deal in a very short period of time.
Defensively, there may be some third basemen as good as he is, but few, if any, are better. Carlos Gonzalez steps in. Now, if Gonzalez could only stay healthy, 271 last year with 40 home runs, 97 RBIs. Well hit to left center field, and a diving catch made by Jock Peterson. The Ball slicing away off the left-handed bat of Carlos Gonzalez, and Peterson, terrific defender, makes a diving play to end the inning. No runs, 2 hits, 1 man left. No score after 1 inning of play. Catch, robbing Carlos Gonzalez of an extra base hit to end the first inning. Jock, Gold Glove caliber center fielder. Scott Van Slyke will lead it off. Van Slyke, a good spring to this point. 8 hits in 19 at-bats. Takes a call strike, and it's 0-1. It'll be Van Slyke, Kike Hernandez, and A.J. Ellis to bat. Van Slyke, right-handed hitter, deep in the box, open stance, takes under the knees. That is 1-1.
Open stance, the leg kick, as he really moves that stride back towards the pitcher.
Now the 1-1. Outside and low, 2 balls and a strike. The veteran Ted Barrett calling balls and strikes. Once an amateur boxer. Jim Wolf, Randy's older brother. Randy finally announced his retirement. Now the pitch to Van Slyke. Pop foul off to the right and out of play. Ryan Blackney is the second base umpire. Chris Siegel at third. And the field umpires will move around, get different angles during spring training from one base to the next. It's spring training for them too. Van Slyke with a couple of home runs this spring. Takes a ball under the knees. If you missed the pregame, you were late, you better get a note from home. Here's the pitch. Van Slyke with a fly ball to left field. It's deep, it's on its way, and it is gone. Scott Van Slyke with his third home run of the year. A mammoth blast. It lands on the berm, about 20 feet beyond the left field wall.
Very distinct sound on a picture perfect swing. For Van Slyke, when he gets a hold of it, he's able to maximize the leverage. He had no doubt where this one was going.
Left fielder Gerardo Parra, 2-time Gold Glove winner, just made one false move toward the left field wall and watched it leave the park. Kike Hernandez stepping in. Hernandez is 118 this spring, takes inside.
Well, Kike is healthy now, had the shoulder surgery. They held him out from a playing standpoint for a while. He was still hitting. There was Nothing constricting in the swing.
He swings and fouls it back, and it's 2-1.
Kike Hernandez last year played a pivotal part of this Dodger ball club. When he first came up, you wondered, well, okay, what role is he going to play? And then with the injuries, we found out exactly. Utility man, deluxe, could play everywhere and did a very good job offensively on top of it.
And filling in at shortstop for the moment with Seager out. There's a call strike. We're mentioning about the pregame and how the Dodgers got much better news from the medical office today than they had just 24 hours ago. Corey Seager. So they're going to shut him down basically for a week, and then in a couple of weeks they'll get him back playing and getting at bats, and the hope and expectation is he'll be in the opening day starting lineup. Dave Roberts also announcing today that Justin Turner, instead of DHing tomorrow, will play 4 or 5 innings at third base, coming off the microfracture surgery on his left knee. 2-2 to Hernandez. Dodgers 1-0. And Kike with a ground ball to second base, where DJ LeMahieu, a couple of steps to his left, picks it up and throws him out. So Hernandez will be starting at short of Fairmount, while Seager is gone. And Charlie Culberson, we talked about him starting at third base today, made 2 terrific plays at short the other day. One deep in the hole and then one behind second base. A couple of diving stabs. Culberson has really had a terrific spring. A.J. Ellis stepping in. Ellis is 5 for 16. Lyles delivers outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
The thing with Culberson, what we've seen so far, he has to be leading the Dodgers in cleaning bills. His uniform has been dirty just about every game he's played in.
He's been fun to watch. 1-0 Dodgers as Ellis takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. A.J. 238 last year. 241 career hitter, takes a strike. And it's 1-2. A.J. will turn 35 next month. He's up there in Wisconsin in the offseason. And he loops a line drive base hit in center field. So the Dodgers with the home run by Van Slyke. Hernandez bounces out, and now Ellis with a clean single to center as Cody Bellinger steps in. Everybody's been talking about Cody, who hit 30 home runs at Rancho last year, and is hitting .429 this spring, 6 for 14.
Lift and drive hitter, has a slight uppercut. Holds his hands high to begin with and brings him down to the top of the strike zone. The question is going to be that fastball that is up in the strike zone.
Takes under the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. All 6 of his hits this spring have been singles. So Bellinger is certainly a prospect on the rise. As he takes a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
Bellinger is able to drive and get really good power using his legs. Does not have a big stride. That's a good thing. Starts with an open stance, slightly open, and deep in the box.
6'4", 213. Takes inside, 2-1.
Yeah, his stride is not even 6 inches. So that's going to help him, but he's got a lot of power, and now contact is the next thing to work on, and consistency.
Bellinger grew up here in Arizona, lives in Scottsdale. The 2-1, outside and low, 3-1. And you may remember his dad, Clay Bellinger, has a couple of World Series rings with the Yankees in '99 and 2000. Charlie Culberson is on deck. 3-1. Line drive, base hit, left field. Ellis rounding second, on his way to third. And Bellinger is on his way to second base with a sliding double. So the Dodgers are in business with second and third and 1 man out. Bellinger's first extra base hit of the spring, and it brings up Charlie Culberson.
Just went with the pitch, not overstriding, goes the opposite way. The other thing that we really see with Bellinger, really for the first time, is that he runs pretty well for a big guy.
Bellinger, a 4th round pick back in 2013. Now here's Charlie Culberson. Certainly has a chance to make the roster as a utility player. He can play second, short, and third, and he's played an outstanding shortstop to this point, playing third base today. Second and third, 1 man out, and he takes a strike, 0-1. He's also got 7 hits and 18 at-bats.
A ground ball can get you a run unless it's hit directly back to the pitcher, or if it's hit to a rocket at first to third. And now the infield's going to come in. They're going to choke off. Initially, the first pitch, they were back at second and short.
And now they're pinched in. The pitch, Culberson, big rip, fouls it back. 0-2 to Culberson with Clayton Kershaw on deck. Rockies know Culberson well. Played with him in 2013 and 14. Now the 0-2 with second and third, 1 out. Swung on and missed, strike 3, pitch in the dirt. Dropped by Nick Hundley. He throws to vacant first base to complete the strikeout. The 3rd for Lyles, the 2nd out of the inning. We've said it in the past and kind of stick to it. On the days that Kershaw plays and pitches, he's probably the best baseball player on the field. He just happens to be the pitcher.
Right now, he's trying to be the best hitter on the field.
He ain't too bad at that either. As he takes low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. He'll turn 29 later in the week. .301 strikeouts last year as a pitcher. 301 strikeouts as a hitter wouldn't be too good. Dodgers with a 1-0 lead on the Van Slyke leadoff home run in the 2nd. Ellis singled, Bellinger doubled, 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. Outfield straight away. Pitch to Kershaw is low and outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Jock Peterson on deck. Kershaw has 1 career home run at his opening day a couple of years back. Takes a 4-pitch walk to load the bases. And Peterson coming up.
Got to pitch carefully to a guy that says, no, I don't want the designated hitter. I want to be able to bat. Takes 4 wide ones. Go figure.
And now pitching coach Steve Foster is coming out. Boy, it is tough being the pitching coach of the worst pitching staff in baseball.
Yeah, they're going to get action. Major League high 5.27 ERA in their starting staff, the 2nd highest number in the last 10 years by any pitching staff. The bullpen, Major League high 4.70 earned run average. The most walks also in the bullpen, out of the bullpen in the majors. And the staff issued the most walks in the majors, 579 uncontested free passes.
You can't win if you can't get the other guys
Nope.
out. And so here's Peterson with the bases loaded and the offense or the outfield is deep. Here's the pitch. High, 1 ball, no strikes. Lyles made but 10 starts last year. Ligament in his left big toe needed repair. Peterson checks his swing, just gets a piece of it, fouls it to the left, and is 1-1.
Jock right now is just really struggling picking up the ball. Not only had he started way too early in the swing, could not stop it. It's a check swing, and then he turns and asks the umpire, was it a strike? So for Jock, the first thing, there's a couple of firsts he's got to do, but the biggest thing is reestablish the strike zone. Remember last year? I said I have not seen a young player had a better knowledge of the outside corner than Jock. That was the first 2 months.
Peterson lines a base hit into center field. Ellis will score. Bellinger, who runs well, will come home without a throw. A 2 RBI, 2-out single for Jock Peterson. The Dodgers take a 3-0 lead.
And maybe that will get Jock going. He just has not looked comfortable, and he hasn't looked like he's had the confidence in trying to rearrange the swing. A little different approach to it. The leg kick has been altered. The balance has been altered at various times. Now you come up with a big base hit. It's a feel-good situation. It helps you to buy into the overall program.
Sam Moll, M-O-L-L, Moll, is warming up in the Rocky bullpen. He's a lefty. Kershaw holds at second base on the RBI single, the 2 RBI single for Peterson. Dodgers up 3-zip as Chase Utley steps in. Utley struck out in his first at-bat. Well, the Dodger offense has been firing on all cylinders the first couple of weeks. As Utley takes a call strike, 0-1. Second in the National League with a .305 batting average. And leading the National League in spring training with a .375 on base percentage. And a 3-0 lead with 2 out and 2 on here in the second inning. 0-1 to Utley, who loops one into short left field, and Gerardo Parra makes a diving catch. The 2-time Gold Glove winner. An outstanding play. Utley is retired. So are the Dodgers, but not before they score 3. 3 runs and 4 hits, 2 men left. Go to the bottom of the second. Dodgers 3-0. Mark Reynolds will lead it off for the Rockies in the bottom of the second inning. Reynolds came up with the Diamondbacks in 2007, then on to Baltimore, Cleveland, the Yankees, the Brewers, last year with the Cardinals. He's a career .230 hitter, 237 career home runs, but has been struck out 1,519 times. And a fly ball into left field, shading his eyes, making the catch is Andre Ethier. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second. 1,517 strikeouts.
Well, we talked about it last year. After the 2009 season, okay, we're in spring training, driving around the Valley of the Sun, had the radio on, and I'm listening to an interview, and Mark Reynolds is on the interview.
Gerardo Parra, the hitter, takes a strike, and it's 0-1.
Now, Reynolds that year before, in 2009, struck out 223 times. And a question was asked.
Now Parra squares the butt and misses, and it's 0-2.
The question is asked, with that many strikeouts at 200 the year before, have you thought about changing anything at all to make more contact? And his answer?
On 0-2, Parra fouls it back.
No, I'm not going to change a thing. And I almost drove off the road. Well, he did improve the next year. He struck out only 211 times, but he played 10 fewer games than he had the year before.
So it was a push.
But he said, no, I'm not going to change a thing.
On 0-2, Parra swings and misses. And that is Kershaw's first strikeout. Like a hard biting slider down and away. I remember you telling me the story. We were doing a road game. I don't know, maybe playing Texas or something. And we're bringing our roller bags up toward the press box. You told me about that. And the steam was still coming out of your ears.
I could not believe it. I made an illegal lane change immediately.
Are you?
Are you? Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu with a chopper to third. Nice easy hop for Culberson. Spins, throws, and a nice easy inning for Clayton Kershaw. Nothing across. We'll go to the third. Kershaw and the Dodgers lead 3-0. Friday night, April 15th, when the Dodgers host the Giants at 7:10. And the first 40,000 fans in attendance receive an adult replica Jackie Robinson jersey presented by Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions. So we'll go to the top half of the third inning. And the Dodgers will be sending up Andre Ethier, Scott Van Slyke, and Kike Hernandez. So far, so good in the third start for Kershaw. Through 2 innings, just 21 pitches, 15 for strikes. No runs, 2 hits, and a strikeout. Ethier is now essentially your starting everyday left fielder. And so far this spring, he is 6 out of 15. Of course, born and raised in the Valley of the Sun, he swings and fouls it back, and it's 0-1. Last week, Dave Roberts essentially said to Carl Crawford, Ethier, because of his time here and what he has done, has earned that right. What was interesting and most pleasing to Dave Roberts as Lyles misses high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Was the reaction from Crawford. He said, you know, you're right. I've just got to earn my way back into your good graces and confidence and do it on the field. 1-1. Ethier takes high and outside. 2-1. Van Slyke and Hernandez to bat next here in the third. Dodgers 3 runs and 4 hits. The Rockies no runs and 2. Jordan Lyles into the wind, and Ethier takes under the knees. And it's now 3-1. Rockies have the shift on, but the outfield is straight away. Only Arenado on the left side of the infield. Lyles on 3-1 to Ethier. Line drive, base hit headed toward the right field corner. That was a scorcher. Ethier's on his way to second. Ethier's on his way to third, and he is going to make it. A sliding leadoff triple for Andre Ethier here in the third inning. He scorched it.
Just a great swing, hit into that corner. Carlos Gonzalez was playing a country mile off the foul line to begin with. He had a long run to come over into the corner and get the ball. And it rattled around. Ethier picked it up. Did not pick up. Didn't really have to pick up. Chris Woodward, the third base coach, until after he'd gone around the second base bag, he saw clearly that there was no chance at all that Gonzalez could throw him out.
Infield playing back. Arenado even with the bag just to keep Ethier a little closer at third as Van Slyke takes low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. So for Ethier, his 7th hit of the spring, first extra base hit, a triple. Got his money's worth on that swing, as Van Slyke did on his in his first at bat, a home run. For Van Slyke, his 3rd home run of the spring, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, top of the third. Dodgers 3, and the Rockies nothing. Kike Hernandez on deck. Van Slyke takes inside. And it's 2-1. The shortstop, Adames, is swung over. So there's a lot of room up the middle. Although LeMahieu is shaded towards second base. Over at first base is Mark Reynolds playing well off the line for the right-handed hitting Van Slyke, who takes inside. Now 3-1.
Adames has been playing actually in the outfield grass at his shortstop position. See, sometimes the guys will start on the grass and then come in. No, as the pitch is on its way home, he has remained on the grass.
Now 3-1 to Van Slyke. Out of a half swing, fouls it off to the right. 3-2.
The shortstop, you'll be playing back on the grass. You have some pretty good confidence in your arm. As hard as Van Slyke hit the home run his first at bat, you might want to play back on the grass.
Might want to play back on the berm. On 3-2, ground ball to third, backhanded by Arenado. Picks it up, throws across the diamond for the first out of the third. Arenado with the backhand kind of jogged toward third base to keep Ethier close before picking it up, throwing across his body, and made a more difficult play than it looked easy.
We would suggest that you hit the ball to somebody else.
Anybody.
Don't hit it to third.
That was the last pitch thrown by Jordan Lyles. As Sam Mold, left-handers coming in. Walt Weiss comes out. Takes the ball, pats Lyles on the fanny. And we're going to take a break. So the Dodgers, with a runner at third, 1 man out. We're in the top half of the third inning, and they've got a 3-0 lead. Walt Weiss opts to go with the right-hander, the heavily bearded Justin Miller instead of the lefty Sam Moll. We're expecting to see him a little later on today. Now the Rockies bring the infield in as Kike Hernandez steps in. Dodgers looking to expand their 3-0 lead. Ethier leading from third after the line leadoff triple into the right field corner. Miller set at the belt, and here's the pitch. On the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. Justin Miller, 6'3", 215. He's 28. Grew up in Bakersfield. Pitched with the Rockies last year. He's bounced around, was with the Tigers in 2014. Infield in, Hernandez takes inside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. A.J. Ellis is on deck. Ellis the short, Ethier the short lead. Hernandez takes a fastball up and in. And it's 3 balls and no strikes.
Kike Hernandez is a little bit different of a stance. He uses a timing mechanism. Starts with an open stance and up on his left front toe. Then he closes the stance as the pitcher is about to release the ball and then makes the stride back towards the pitcher.
Miller getting the sign from his catcher Nick Hundley. And the 3-0. High and away, ball 4. So Hernandez with the walk. The Dodgers have runners at the corners, and here is A.J. Ellis.
Oh, we talked about the walks that the Rockies issued last year. Overall, nobody else in baseball has many, 579. So you go to the bullpen, and what happens? Well, Miller walks the first man that he faces.
And A.J. Ellis coming up. A.J. has 6 hits this spring. He singled to center, scored a run back in the second inning when the Dodgers scored 3. They've got runners at the corners with 1 man out here in the third. Miller set, quick throw to first base, and Kike Hernandez back with a head first slide.
Well, double play in line with the infield, in particular up the middle with Adames at short and LeMahieu at second. That opens up a little bit sizable gap to the left side between the shortstop and Arenado, the third baseman.
There is a world of real estate between Parra in left and Charlie Blackmon in center, who's shaded toward right center. Now here's Miller set. Here's the pitch. And a bunt up the first base line. Nicely done. Underhanded flip from Miller to Hundley. Sliding in under the tag is Ethier. And the Dodgers take a 4-0 lead. Boy, that was some slide by Andre Ethier on a terrific bunt by A.J. Ellis.
Oh, and I tell you what, Andre Ethier, give him credit, is that he was wide awake on the possibilities. We talked in the pregame show about anticipation, about the base running and being aggressive. Ethier coming down the line, and he sees right away he's got a chance to score. And the catch was made by Hundley on that toss out of the glove by the pitcher, Miller. But Hundley turned to his right, turned his back really to Ethier, and the tag was late.
Well, you were talking about it on the pregame about how aggressive the Dodgers have been on the base path, and that's a new mission statement for the Dodgers from their rookie manager Dave Roberts. Now first and second with 1 out. Bellinger takes inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, Dave Roberts is going to start off his meeting with his players today after I talked to him in his office. I said, look, we went over the plays last night with both Utley and Barnes scoring from third on wild pitches. The ball gets away from the catcher. He says, I'm going to start the meeting off with how positive that is. Oh, they're going to run into some outs here and there, but I really like the aggressiveness.
Bellinger with runners at first and second. Miller set. Here's the pitch. Into center field. A long run for Blackmon. He can't get it. It's going to roll to the wall. Hernandez will score. A.J. Ellis. He's on his way home. And the throw to the plate's not in time. How about that? A.J. Ellis scoring on a double on a base hit up the gap in left center field, running all the way. Again, the aggressiveness of the Dodgers on the base paths. And for Cody Bellinger, his second double of the game, has 2 RBIs, and the Dodgers have a 6-0 lead.
Well, for Bellinger, does a good job and it drives it. Chris Woodward, the third base coach, also finding out about who can run and who cannot. AJ, kind of tongue-in-cheek, came up to me last year. I said, well, AJ's a little speed challenged. Well, he's picked up a step or two this year because in the past he may not have scored.
So this is a new look for the Dodgers as Charlie Culberson steps in. Bellinger leads from second. Culberson fouls it off the end of the bat. It's 0-1. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Dodgers radio network. Charlie Steiner, Rick Monday, coming to you from Salt River Fields at Talking Stick on the outskirts of Scottsdale. It's about a 45-minute drive from Glendale as Culberson fouls it back to the screen. And it's been all Dodgers all the time so far this afternoon. Kershaw has been terrific. No runs, 2 hits, just 21 pitches in 2 innings. The Dodgers offensively, 6 runs and 6 base hits. Culberson, a strikeout victim in his first at-bat. And the 0-2 is on the way. Justin Miller to Charlie Culberson. Time called just as Miller releases the pitch. Well, we had a visitor this morning back at the offices. We were asked, who's impressed you so far? We said in unison, Cody Bellinger. Gave him a good scouting report. Here's the 0-2. Call strike 3. Culberson is called out on strikes. That is the second out of the third. Now Kershaw steps in. He walked in his first at-bat on 4 pitches. Jordan Lyles didn't last long, 2 1/3. And he gave up 4 of the 6 runs so far. Kershaw takes outside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Clayton went to Dave Roberts the other day, said, look, let me hit. And so he is. And he's going to pitch 5 innings today if all goes according to plan.
People are trying to watch a game here.
Miller deals and Kershaw fouls it back. That's a good rip.
Have a seat, please.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jock Peterson on deck. This is the Dodgers' 12th game of the exhibition season, 7-2-2 to this point. Rockies are 5-6, and this is their 12th game. Kershaw takes a strike, and it's 1-2. For the Rockies, this is their 6th season at Salt River Fields. They share it with the Diamondbacks. It's really a beautiful facility. The inside and low to Kershaw, 2-2. 345 down the lines, 390 in the power alleys, and 410 feet in straightaway center. Well, we look around Salt River Fields today, and there are an inordinate number of blue jerseys and blue caps in the stands. High and outside. 2-2 to Kershaw. And again, it could not be a more perfect Sunday afternoon here in the desert. 76 at game time. On 3-2 to Kershaw. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that ends the inning. But the Dodgers come up with 3 more runs on 3 hits and leave 1, and lead 6-0 after 2.5. comfortable 6-0 lead. And Clayton Kershaw, completing his warm-up tosses, got out on the hill a little bit late after having made the last out of the top half of the third. Struck out swinging and was muttering to himself all the way back to the dugout.
But the fact is that when Kershaw was warming up today prior to the game, 17 uniformed personnel with the Dodgers were watching him every move. And you would make the suggestion to young players and young pitchers in particular, you might want to pay attention about how he goes through his routine, how he's demanding about how he throws his warm-up pitches, how he warms up. But it was really it was something. I looked down, I counted 17 were watching him warm up.
Nick Hundley will lead it off, right-handed hitting catcher for the Rockies in the bottom of the third. Kershaw delivers a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. You hear the phrase all the time about how the ball comes out of a guy's hand easy. Ground ball to short. An easy play for Kike Hernandez. Throws across the diamond. It is. Hundley retired, first out of the third. So watching him play catch the other day, Kershaw was not throwing hard, but watching the ball come out of his hand with such velocity, and he was not throwing it hard at all. It was staggering. Then you watch him throw a bullpen a few minutes later, and he's muttering to himself when he's not completed the perfect pitch. Christian Adames, the shortstop, takes a strike, 0-1. Oh, do the Rockies have issues at shortstop? Oh, do they have issues? Adames is in the mix, and they've got a young fella named Trevor Story, who may be their future shortstop. And a ground ball to third. Culberson picks it up, throws across the diamond. And that's the second out of the inning. The throw is on the home plate side of first base, and watching the footwork of Bellinger at first. He knows what he's doing over there.
Well, you shift feet and you go towards the home plate side, and all of a sudden, left-handed thrower, it's not your left foot that's on the bag. Left foot on the bag, and your left-handed thrower allows you to go extend a little bit farther, but he switched over, went right foot to the bag as his left foot went to foul territory to receive the throw.
So 2 out, nobody on. So of course they trade Tulowitzki last year. They get Reyes, and they cut $50 million off their payroll, and they get 3 young pitchers of whom they're very happy with. And Reyes has his domestic issue. He's going to court in Hawaii first week of April. I think on opening day for the Rockies, their everyday shortstop is going to court, facing potentially a jail term. And then when that's done, baseball, you know, is going to, Maxwell's hammer going to come down on his head. They have no idea how long he'll be suspended. So Walt Weiss, who was a terrific shortstop in his day, has a gaping hole. And then the question is, will Reyes ever play a game in Colorado? So that deal early on has been an unmitigated disaster, as Kershaw delivers a fastball inside corner at the knees to Charlie Blackmon. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out, bottom half of the third. Kershaw deals. Blackmon takes a ball in the dirt and is now 3-2. It seemed like about 10 minutes after Reyes was traded to Colorado last year, he was already complaining about Colorado. It does not look like it will be much of an issue for him in Colorado. Fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. Blackmon had a fastball blow right past him. For Kershaw, that was his second strikeout of the game, and he has now retired 7 in a row. And through 3, they lead the Rockies 6-0. as we head to the fourth inning. Shane Carl. Lean fellow, 6'4", 185 pounds. Non-roster invitee out of Santa Cruz. He was at Double-A last year in New Britain. He was 14-7 in 26 starts. He'll be facing Jock Peterson, Chase Utley, and Andre Ethier. Peterson, 1 for 2, couple of RBIs, singled home 2 in the second inning. And a ground ball to third. And Nolan Arenado short hops it, makes it look so easy. The shift was on. Arenado, the only fellow on the left side of the infield. And he was nearly even with the bag, comes in, makes a short hop, and throws out Peterson.
Oh, telling you, don't hit it to him. By the way, we've been put on notice that pretty good baseball guy, one of the nice people listening to us along with his wife. The Killer, Mick Keller is listening to us, and to the Killer we send our best.
Chase Utley's the batter, takes a strike, 0-1. That's a baseball, man. Utley with a fly ball to center field, and it drops in for a base hit. So Chase Utley is 1 for 3. Robbed of a hit in his last at-bat. But bloops himself a single into left center, and here comes Andre Ethier.
If Ethier hits a ball any harder in the rest of this game than he did that triple down to the right field corner in the third inning to lead it off, they better clear the stadium, because it didn't take but a flash of a second to get down into the corner.
So a short lead for Utley at first. Ethier takes high and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Andre wears his sunglasses when he hits. That's a relatively new thing in your day. I don't remember anybody wearing shades in the batter's box.
No, and if you wore sunglasses, unless they were, a prescription might be the case, but it was the flip down glasses, which I don't understand why more players don't use them, because the regular glasses that you have are really not dark enough if a ball is hit right up near the sun, at least in my opinion.
Ethier on 2-0, takes outside, 3 balls and no strikes, but stepping into the batter's box with sunglasses on is a relatively new thing.
But it does make sense if you're having to squint because of the bright sunshine. But the advent also now with the wraparound glasses, you do not have any restrictions from a vision standpoint on the peripheral side of your view.
Shift on for Ethier on 3-0. Here's the pitch. High and outside, a 4-pitch walk to Andre Ethier. So the Dodgers have first and second with 1 man out. And Scott Van Slyke's coming up. Van Slyke homered a long distance shot to left in the second inning and bounced to third in the third inning. Boy, this is like a mid-season game with the Rockies. Long, slow, torturous. Pitching that is challenged and
but they have a new weapon this year. They're going to raise some of the sections of the outfield wall at Coors Field. That'll even it out.
Yeah, they're making a beautiful wall at Coors Field.
We just don't know who's going to pay for it.
It's too easy, isn't it? The fence from center field to the visiting bullpen. All the way then to the Rockies bullpen. They're raising it 9 feet. But it'll be a beautiful wall. Van Slyke takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. They're raising the wall, but not bringing in the fences. As one of the Rocky people said, well, we did a 5-year study on that. Van Slyke swings and misses. And it's 1 and 2, 5 years. You look at 5 games, you can tell what's going on there. Well, they're see if raising the fences will do something. I mean, they got Ponderosa territory from power alley to power alley. The problem really isn't so much the home runs, it's the doubles and the triples as Van Slyke takes a call strike 3. That's the second out of the 4th.
It's a place where doubles and triples congregate often.
There's so much space out there.
And there's only 3 guys to cover all the real estate.
So you play deep, singles will drop in. If you play shallow, balls will go over your head.
Yeah, they don't need to raise the fences. They need to lower the stadium. It's almost a mile above sea level.
Well, you know, Chavez Ravine is one thing, but that would be
yes.
You have to really go underground for that. Dodgers with a 6-0 lead. They've out-hit the Rockies 7-2. Shane Carl, the 3rd Rocky pitcher of the day. And Kike Hernandez rips one foul over the Dodger dugout into the stands down the 3rd base line. It's 0-2. Hernandez has walked, scored a run, and bounced out.
5-year study.
What took so long?
Well, the humidor didn't really solve it.
I guess not. Hernandez pops it into short right center. Out goes LeMahieu, having trouble with the sun, and finally he'll make the catch between Carlos Gonzalez coming in from right and Charlie Blackmon coming in from center. No runs, 1 hit, a walk, and 2 left after 3.5. Dodgers 6-0. Dodgers mini plan. Choose from games with great promotions featuring fan favorites such as bobbleheads and brand new retired number pins. Visit Dodgers.com/mini plans. On this picture perfect Sunday afternoon, Clayton Kershaw's been pretty near picture perfect. Gave up a couple of hits in the 1st inning. He's retired the last 7. And the first pitch to Ryan Rayburn leading off the bottom of the 4th is low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. It'll be Rayburn, Nolan Arenado, and Carlos Gonzalez. Outfield straight away. Ethier especially deep in left. As Rayburn takes high and in. And it's 2-0. Dodgers open for real in San Diego. As Kershaw misses high and outside, 3 balls, no strikes. He overthrew the pitch, and you could see him mutter to himself after he released it. Monday, April 4th, Dodgers and Padres in San Diego. Now on 3-0, a call strike, 3-1. Dodgers open with a 3-game series against the Padres down there, and then up to San Francisco for 4. And a fastball high, ball 4, and the first walk given up by Kershaw here in the 4th inning.
A couple of pitches up in the strike zone. Clayton has aspirations to go 5 innings in this game. Rick Honeycutt walking around over on the near end of the Dodgers third base dugout. That's something to Dave Robertson. Now Honeycutt's picking up the walkie-talkie, and I think he may be giving the bullpen a call here in just a minute, depending upon Kershaw and how he does in this inning.
And he's facing one of the game's best, Nolan Arenado. Takes one up and in, and as he gets out of the way, his helmet came flying off.
That's another pitch that's up. So is there a little tired legs? Possibly. You would not think so, watching the way that Kershaw trains. That's the other part. We talk about his pitching. To watch him go through his daily workout on the field, amazing.
1 ball, no strikes. Arenado takes high and away. 2 balls, no strikes.
So
Ellis is going to go out and have a chat.
Yeah, so now he's going to reset the sights. And Honeycutt also looking, sitting at the rest of the coaches out of the dugout to the near side. But there is a difference in Kershaw as far as the release point. He has been up with just about everything in this inning.
Once Kershaw's day is done, we're expecting to see Yimi Garcia, Adam Libator, Matt West, Chris Anderson, and maybe Jarrell Cotton. Dodgers 6 runs, 7 base hits. The Rockies no runs in 2. Kershaw set at the chest. Here's a pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. That was thrown with great vengeance.
Yeah, that was also up, however.
2 balls and a strike. Got the sense he threw that fastball as much with anger as with precision. 2-1 to Arenado, who's had an unbelievable spring. Has a base hit today. Pops it up. First base side. Bellinger shading his eyes halfway between first base and the plate. Makes the catch. He's shading his eyes with the bare hand.
Well, he's got to shade his eyes because he's not wearing sunglasses. Now the sun is off to his left as he stands at first base, but you would make the also make the argument if there's a foul ball down the right field line, as he would go down to get it, he's going to be staring up into the sun.
Well, he made the catch. Arenado's retired, and here comes Cargo. Carlos Gonzalez robbed of a base hit in the first inning on a diving, sprawling catch by Jock Peterson. And here's a fly ball to center field. There goes Peterson way back at the wall. He is going to track it down, actually a couple of steps in front of the warning track. Peterson wears those wraparound shades, and you can see all the way up here the sun reflecting off of them as he makes the catch.
Got a good jump, and he had to hold the glove up at the last second to get a little help also, shading his eyes. There's 2 things you can use besides the sunglasses. And if it gets near the sun, you can use the bill of the cap off the side, and then the glove as well. If you ever try to catch a frisbee on the beach that happens to go into the sun, well, the frisbee's a lot bigger than a baseball.
It'll still hit you in the nose. Mark Reynolds fly to left in his first at-bat. Dodgers with a 6-0 lead. Kershaw delivers a strike, and it's 0-1. Kershaw, who walked Ryan Rayburn, and then had a couple of frustrating pitches to Arenado, seems to have found what he was looking for. But he delivers one in the dirt that travels maybe 55 feet, kicks off the chest protector of Ellis to the left, and Rayburn goes to second base on the wild pitch. Reynolds with the Cardinals last year, 271, correction, 230. 13 home runs, 48 runs batted in at 230. Now the 1-1, Kershaw, low and inside, 2-1. Gerardo Parra is on deck. Mentioned earlier, since the turn of the century, this is now 2016 already, the Dodgers are 50 games over 500 against the Rockies. Another pitch in the dirt, blocked by A.J. Ellis, and the count goes to 3-1. 171 and 121. The Dodgers against the Rockies. Last year, 11-8. Rayburn at second base with 2 out. 3-1 to Reynolds, who swings and grounds it foul into the Dodger dugout. The count is 3-2. Corey Brown, who's looking to find his way into the Dodger roster come opening day, probably a long shot. Made the clean stab in the dugout of that foul ball. Now on 3-2, here's the pitch. Call strike 3, Mark Reynolds down on strikes. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left, and through 4, the Dodgers 6 and the Rockies nothing. Through 4 innings, has struck out 3, walked 1, and he has held almost an unfair standard. He's thrown but 48 pitches through the 4. He's walked 1, given up a couple of base hits. In conference with Rick Honeycutt and Dave Roberts. In the meantime, Yimi Garcia is warming in the Dodger bullpen, so he may just go 4. We'll find out soon enough. A.J. Ellis leads off in the 5th and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Top of the 5th brought to you by the 2016 Chevy Silverado. Chevrolet, find new roads. Ellis fouls it off to the right. And it's 0-2. A.J. with a beautiful bunt in the 3rd inning with Ethier at 3rd. Bunted it up the first base line, and Ethier would beat the tag at the plate. Dodgers with 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and Ellis with a sky-high fly ball to right. Easy play for Carlos Gonzalez. So Ellis is retired, first out of the 5th.
Gorgeous weather today. You hear many times in Arizona, high sky. What's the definition of a high sky? Well, there's a few little streaks of clouds, but there's no clouds above it, and you don't really have good depth perception. The ball's hit a mile into the air. A little hazy, about 1,000 miles off the left center, but what a gorgeous afternoon.
Cody Bellinger with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs today. Takes inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. No wind, no humidity, no clouds, no nothing. Bellinger takes under the knees, and it's 2-0.
And that pretty much sums up the Rockies' offense so far.
And no pitching either. Here's a 2-0. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. Bellinger, again, we're just watching him for the first couple of weeks. Has terrific plate awareness. He'll strike out some, but he'll walk a lot. Here's a 3-0. Takes up and in, a 4-pitch walk. So he's been on base all 3 times today. Cody Bellinger. Second walk given up by Shane Carl. Well, the Rockies, to be charitable and euphemistic, are a team in transition. There are a lot of guys who were with Colorado last year that aren't anymore for any number of different reasons, and we'll run them down alphabetically in a moment. Charlie Culberson is the batter, and he rips one foul toward the Dodger dugout, and it's 0-1. John Axford, the hard-throwing right-hander. Rex Brothers. Brooks Brown, gone. Brown was with the Dodgers for about 10 minutes. Bad shoulder, and he's gone. Corey Dickerson, gone. LaTroy Hawkins has retired. Tommy Kahnle, gone. Kyle Kendrick, Michael McHenry, Justin Morneau, Willeen Rosario, and Troy Tulowitzki. All out of there. Now Culberson has been struck out twice today. Takes outside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, 1 on, top of the 5th. 6 runs and 7 hits for the Dodgers. No runs and 2 hits for the Rockies. Clayton Kershaw is on deck. Carl delivers, and Culberson with a fly ball to center field. Drifting on back is Charlie Blackmon. He's shading his eyes. Makes the catch, 2nd out of the 5th.
It's going to be unique if Kershaw is going to complete his afternoon with 4 innings of pitched. And he may have been talking to Rick Cunningham. Look, I want 1 more at bat. Normally, that's something that's said by position players, not by the pitcher. Oh, give me 1 more at bat.
Well, there's nothing normal about Clayton Kershaw. Takes a strike, 0-1. Still no guarantee he'll come out and pitch the 5th. Jimmy Garcia had been warming. He's not at the moment. Bellinger leads off first with 2 out. 6-0 Dodgers, top of the 5th. Kershaw takes outside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers 6 runs, 6 hits last night as Kershaw lost 1 to left, and now having some difficulty with the sun is Gerardo Parra. He makes the catch. The inning is over. No runs, no hits, a walk and a man left at the halfway mark after 4.5 innings of play. Dodgers 6, Colorado 0. To the bottom half of the fifth, most notably, Clayton Kershaw remains in the game for one more. Deivi Garcia is back warming up in the pen. Corey Brown takes over in left field, and Micah Johnson over at second base. Well, on this Sunday afternoon, Dodgers really could not ask for much more than what they've gotten so far from their team. 6 runs, 7 hits. Bellinger a couple of doubles. Van Slyke a home run. As Gerardo Parra leads off against Kershaw, who just threw his 49th pitch, a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Kershaw's been spot on, had some difficulty with some control in the 4th inning, and still worked his way out. And a ball inside and low, 1-1 to Parra. Again, being held to an entirely different level. He walks a batter, and then the next batter he's finding some difficulty finding the plate, and he was able to find his way out of the mess. Missing inside, 2-1 to Parra, strikeout victim in his first at-bat. Clayton on 2-1. Fastball rolled up the first baseline. Bellinger will take it by himself. A couple of steps from the bag. Then he steps on it. Parra's retired, 1 out.
Energy level of Clayton Kershaw. There's nothing about spring training and say, well, I'm going to put it on cruise control. That's not the way that he functions. Garcia continues to get loose in the bullpen, but for Clayton Kershaw, remember the last inning he started, everything was high, walked the leadoff hitter, had a wild pitch. Then he threw a couple balls in the dirt, and then he kind of reset the sights.
DJ LeMahieu steps in. Bounced to third in his first at-bat. And takes the strike. It's 0-1.
LeMahieu, the all-star last year. The defense is there. The other thing that gets overlooked, he had 23 stolen bases. He was caught stealing just 3 times last year.
Takes under the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The top of it hit .301. DJ LeMahieu.
And the tallest second baseman in the game. There's a breaking ball. That was a deep bucket.
You know it's a good one when you hear the crowd react to it. That's exactly what we had here.
1 ball and 2 strikes. You say goodbye, I say hello. The 1-2. LeMahieu swings and rolls it up the third base line, and it rolls foul. Once it got about 6 inches foul, Kershaw kicked it toward the first base dugout.
By the way, that 5-year plan on to raise the fences and what have you. How about 5 consecutive losing seasons? 1 shy the franchise record. It went from 2001 to 2006. In fact, for the Rockies, in their 23 seasons, they've had a winning record just 7 times. 3 of those 7 came in the franchise's first 5 years of existence.
And they were the Blake Street Bombers. Larry Walker, Andres Galarraga, Vinny Castilla, Ellis Burks. Ground ball slowly hit to third. In comes Culberson, picks it up and throws a strike and gets the speedy LeMahieu. Charlie Culberson has played a sensational third base and shortstop defensively for the Dodgers.
So he has. Being able to show the versatility. And not the easiest to play is when you're catching the ball, you field it on one side of your body, you have to throw. I mean, he has been dazzling at shortstop, diving to his left, to his right. And some nifty plays now third.
2 out, nobody on. Nick Hundley coming up. It's been 7 years since the Rockies have gone to the postseason. But the biggest drought of major league teams not making it to the postseason begins with the Seattle Mariners. 15 years without playing a 163rd game. Ground ball, 1 hopper to short. Kike Hernandez throws it low, and Bellinger can't dig it out. So a throwing error for Kike Hernandez.
That's just a careless error in throwing it to the first baseman and not throwing it through the first baseman. Ball was hit like a rocket. Hernandez had plenty of time, checked the signature on the baseball, and then throws it over, but a low throw.
As nifty as Bellinger's been at first base, somewhat surprising he didn't dig it out, but it was a bad throw, and Kike Hernandez simply had too much time to throw it. Christian Adames takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes. So the Mariners been 15 years since the postseason. The Marlins 13 years. Padres 10 years. The White Sox 8 years. And it's been 7 years since Colorado's played in the postseason. Broken bat, ground ball slowly hit to third. Culberson picks it up and a sidearm sling throws out Adames, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 man left. We'll go to the 6th. Kershaw's done, and the Dodgers have a 6-0 lead. Done, receiving high fives and a lot of smiles in the Dodger dugout. 5 innings, no runs and 2 base hits, 60 pitches, 38 for strikes. And the Rockies have a new pitcher. Antonio Senzatella. He is from Venezuela. Right-hander, first pitch, inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. Jock Peterson leading it off. Peterson is 1 for 3, singled home 2 in the 2nd inning. Dodgers with 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and there's a line drive into left. But right there and fighting the sun all the way is the 2-time Gold Glove winner, Gerardo Parra. Pretty well hit by Peterson, first out of the 6th.
Yeah, a couple of line drives that Jock Peterson has hit so far in this ball game. 1 for the 2-run single that came in the 2nd, and this one the line drive out to left field. So for Peterson, we've been mentioning it's a new plan and you've got to buy into it.
And now here's Corey Brown, his first at bat of the day. And takes a strike, 0-1. Batting in the 2 spot that was vacated by Chase Utley. Utley went 1 for 3. Fastball up and in from Senzatella. 6'1", 180 pounds.
Just 21, and it's a fastball that can reach in the mid 90s occasionally into the upper.
Now Brown, big rip, fouls it back.
Senzatella had a problem last year, was with fingernails. Now you figure, okay, what's a fingernail got to do with it? Well, it really bothered his grip And as a result of it, as well we understand, saw something was written about it, really affected his curveball. Could not throw it, couldn't get the grip, applied too much pressure, and it was painful.
1-2. Brown tried to check his swing, went around, he's been struck out. Sensatella retires the first 2 batters, strikes out Brown. And here comes Micah Johnson. So Shane Carl stops the bleeding for Colorado. Goes 2 innings, no runs and a hit, a couple of walks and a strikeout. Sensatella is the 4th Rocky pitcher of the day. And Johnson takes inside and low, 1 ball and no strikes. As Johnson tried to check his swing, went around, and Ted Barrett said, "You went around," and you looked at Micah Johnson's face, it's like, "You're kidding." Here's the 1-1. Barrett is not somebody to trifle with. Johnson pops it up into short right center field. And the center fielder, Charlie Blackmon, takes charge. And the Dodgers go quietly as Johnson flies out. Nothing across. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And the Dodgers sitting pretty on a 6-0 lead. The bottom half of the 6th, beginning with Yimi Garcia. A hard-throwing right-hander, and this after a sterling 5-inning performance from Clayton Kershaw. No runs, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Threw 60 pitches in his 5 innings. And only in the first inning, when he threw 15, did he throw more than 12. 6 pitches in the second, 11 in the third, and then 4th and 5th, he cruised across the finish line. Now Yimi Garcia stepping in. To face top of the order, Charlie Blackmon. Dodgers made some defensive changes as well. Trace Thompson in right, Rico Noel now in center. And there's a strike to Blackmon. That's 0-1. Jack Murphy is the new catcher. Blackmon, just an all-around solid player. Takes under the knees, and it's 1-1.
Had 6 leadoff home runs last year.
Has great speed. Boy, you better have great speed if you're going to be the center fielder at Coors Field. 17 home runs. And he gets underneath it. Fly ball into short right. Micah Johnson making the catch in front of his buddy Trace Thompson. That's the first out of the sixth.
Coors Field is a place, one of the fields in particular, that there is a premium on having mobile outfielders.
Power alley to power alley. There's no more difficult place to play. So you better have 3 good defenders out there.
If not, your center fielder is going to wind up with collapsed lungs.
Ryan Rayburn, a walk, and robbed of a hit by Charlie Culberson is Garcia. This is low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Coors Field was not really the idyllic ballpark for maybe, say, Rico Carty to play the outfield.
I think any outfield was ideal for Rico Carty, but put a bat in his hand.
Yep.
The Generalissimo.
Rico needed the designated hitter. At times he wore a glove and nobody really was able to figure out why. But he could hit.
Oh. Ball inside and low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Rico Carty once with the Cubs just had a flashback. He was in a batting cage. Ron Santo was going to be the next hitter. This is batting practice. And Rico kept swinging, swinging, and swinging.
Garcia, breaking ball, popped up into center field. Retreating is Rico Noel, makes a catch, second out.
So finally, Santo is taking a round. And first round, he might take 10 swings. In the second round, maybe 7. In the third round, maybe 5. It's the time allotment. And Rico is like swing number 25. And the late Ron Santo was one of the nice people. And finally said, Rico, you want a sandwich? He goes, no, I take an entire meal. I let you know when I'm through. And Ronnie was not really pleased.
Boy, that would have been a death match fight. Whew. There's a call strike.
Ron Santo was one of the most dedicated players that I've ever seen. Of course, he helped a lot of people growing up. You know, Ron Santo, a lot of people forget he had diabetes. And he had childhood diabetes, and he helped so many people. It was just unbelievable. And we watched him as a teammate in Chicago. He's a wonderful man, and we miss him dearly.
Nolan Arenado's the batter. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out, bottom of the 6th. Garcia on in relief of Kershaw. Dodgers 6-zip. Arenado 1 for 2. They get 2 for 3. He has just been a hitting machine this spring. With his 2 hits this afternoon, he is 12 for 21.
Slacker.
It is remarkable what Santo was able to do with his career, battling diabetes his entire life. Eventually it killed him.
He was one of the truly fierce competitors and one of the nice people.
One of the many reasons it was so much fun to broadcast games at Wrigley Field. As Carlos Gonzalez is the batter and takes a strike. It's 0-1. Rockies have a pinch runner for Arenado. And our booth at Wrigley Field is immediately next to the Cubs radio booth. And it's separated by, the glass partition. And just watching Santo's face break out in joy when things were well and go into utter depression when they lost or things weren't going well. Used to think he can't really feel this, but he did. He felt every pitch of every game,
and it was genuine.
Yeah. He's a guy that we miss a lot. Gonzalez today is 0 for 2. And he swings and misses at a breaking ball.
Anyone who's wanted to buy raffle ticket who's been waiting for the last
Juan Ciriaco is the pinch runner at first base. Little fellow with a big number. Gonzalez swings and misses. He's been struck out. That ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit. Jimmy Garcia strikes out Gonzalez. Will go to the 7th. Dodgers 6-0. Which we will get to as soon as we figure it out.
Tuesday.
It'll be in all the papers. We begin the top half of the 7th inning with Trace Thompson leading it off for the Dodgers. He swings and fouls it back. Thompson's first at bat.
This is the time of a ball game earlier on in spring training where even the box scores tomorrow in the newspapers will not have them listed.
See where the name is listed? We don't know either. Thompson takes low and outside.
Thompson has been interesting to watch him in the early goings. He's made some stellar defensive plays.
Still looking to find his way offensively.
Kind of like one thing defensively also going to help him. He has no trouble going to his left and right and getting the ball. He's made one terrific diving stop as well. He needs to work on charging the ball, coming in on a ground ball that's hit.
Fastball, call strike 3 inside corner. Thompson takes a call, 3rd strike. Antonio Sensatella in his 2nd inning of relief for the Rockies. Kyle Parker has taken over in right field for Colorado. Raymel Tapia is in center. Juan Ciriaco's at 3rd base as Kike Hernandez swings and fouls it back to the screen, and it's 0-1. Tony Walters is the new catcher. See, we're getting it in before the deadline.
Yeah. Mike Talkman is in left field wearing number 80.
Okay. Nice number for a wide receiver. It's Hernandez. Swings and misses. And it's 1-1. What was his name?
Talkman.
Talkman.
Tauchman.
Does he have a first name?
Mike.
Mike.
We call him Big Guy.
That's a sure sign you have no idea who the hell he is. Hey, big guy. Hernandez takes a called third strike, 2 outs.
Better than hey meat.
Heard that a time or two,
yeah.
too. 2 out, nobody on, and A.J. Ellis is coming up. Well, Ellis is done, and now it's Jack Murphy's turn to hit.
Sure
A.J.
was.
had a good day.
When
Yeah. No, actually, this is Rico Noel batting with Rob Segedin on deck. One of the things we've noticed this spring when Dave Roberts makes the substitutions, they are rarely straight up.
which we really enjoy.
And Noel takes a ball in the dirt. 1-2.
And it works out really well for Dave Roberts because, you know, he's been in charge of the lineups as a bench coach. He's seen them as a player and as a coach to begin with, and then the bench coach, or you're notifying the players of changes. So he's manipulating the lineup during every game now.
Noel takes a ball outside, and it's 2-2.
Which is going to help, and he's studying the guys that are available right now. You know, during the season when you're making double switches, where are you going to place people? When will you make a double switch? What's the matchup? Who's going to be coming in for the other team?
Noel fouls it into the dirt. Now let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Dodgers Radio Network. On 2-2, Rico Noel punches a base hit into right field. Noel, one of the things that we have noticed from the get-go, he may be the fastest man in camp. He can really run.
I read something last year that Ricky Noel, when they timed him, was the fastest guy in baseball. I don't remember where I saw it, but fastest guy in baseball going from first to third.
He can fly.
Wonder if that was part of that 5-year study for the fences.
Rob Segedin, his first at-bat. Cody Bellinger had a good day today. 2 for 2, 2 RBIs, a run scored, and a walk. And Segedin hit a home run last night against the Mariners as he fouls it off to the right and out of play. Segedin 304 this spring, 7 for 23, 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in. 3 doubles. Former Yankee. Sensatella delivers a swing and a foul back. 0-2. Charlie Culberson is on deck. 0-2, swung on and missed strike 3, breaking ball in the dirt. That ends the inning. Sensatella comes in, pitches 2 innings, and he strikes out 4. 7th inning stretch, Dodgers 6-0. 16th when the Dodgers host the Diamondbacks at 7:10. And the first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive an adult hooded sweatshirt presented by Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. As we go to the home half of the 7th inning, Dodgers have a new pitcher, the lefty Adam Libator out of Western PA. Libator is making his 4th appearance of the spring. 2 runs and 3 hits in 3 innings of work. Dodgers with 3 pretty good lefties out of the bullpen: Libator, Avalon, and J.P. Howell.
A couple other changes defensively as well. As Libator completes his warm-up pitches, Elian Herrera takes over third base, and Brandon Hicks is now playing at shortstop.
Rob Seguin has taken over at first base as well. So all understudies out there now. Libator's first pitch.
This is Robert, still number 10-10.
To Ryan Kessel. There's a strike. Castillo. Ryan Castillo. Yimi Garcia goes an inning, no runs and a hit and a strikeout. 15 pitches, 10 strikes. Castillo swings and misses. Dodgers with 3 in the second, 3 in the third, and since then, game, set, and match. Kershaw 5 innings, no runs, 2 hits. Garcia no runs and a hit in his inning. Now it's Libator's turn. And on 1 and 2, fastball, call strike 3 outside corner. So far this spring, the Dodgers have gotten terrific hitting and frankly pretty darn good pitching too.
Comes at a good time too. You're searching for that number 5 starter. With Brad Anderson having gone down, already has had the back surgery. So there is a starting position that is up for grab in the rotation.
Brandon Beachy, a very solid performance last night. This is Mike Tauchman. Batting. Left-handed hitter. Tauchman takes low and outside. Wow. Tauchman is the, well, he's got a new fan. Bradley. The boy went to Bradley.
Yeah, you were staying right on top of that. What page is that, by the way, in their bio?
185.
Okay.
It's about, let's see, it's about the halfway point of the book.
So you have your name plastered all over the school.
Well,
and
surprise,
is. Surprise.
Wow.
Now he's your best buddy, right?
Absolutely. I got it. Michael Robert Tauchman. He's Peoria born and bred. Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah, you messed that place up too.
Leaving no stone unturned. Well, let's see about this fellow. Majored in business management and administration. Come to my school. So. He was a Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year in 2013. Let's see what else. Fine family. Let's see.
If you were any kind of guy, you'd cancel your flight tonight. Make sure that you send down an invitation and take the young man to dinner.
But I'm no kind of guy.
You'll be on the plane, will you?
I'll text him. This is terrific. And
I hope he
routinely
blocks your text.
All right. 2 out.
Where's he from?
Peoria, man. He's Bradley through and through. We don't have many, but we'll take them when we got them. Kirby Puckett actually played here at Bradley. Indeed. Then the Pickett gets slim.
No, he wised up and left.
With 2 out. Fly ball to left field, well hit. And in left center, Rico Noel makes a diving catch.
Wow. The closing rate of Ricky Noel was sensational. It looked like Trace Johnson was the only one that's going to have a chance. Noel comes out of nowhere. What a catch.
We're talking about his speed, and he's about as fast as anybody. A spectacular play, and that will end the inning. In spite of the fact Michael Talkman flying routinely to left. We'll go to the 8th, 6-0. German Marquez is the new pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. Marquez, 6'1", 185 from Venezuela. And he came over from the Tampa Bay Rays. Brandon Hicks leading it off for the Dodgers in the 8th. Fouls it back. It is 0-1. He came over along with left-handed pitcher Jake McGee in the trade that would send Corey Dickerson to Tampa Bay, and a breaking ball upstairs and inside to Brandon Hicks, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the 8th inning. The Rockies got a terrific pitching performance this afternoon from a young fella named Antonio Sensatella. 2 innings, no runs and a hit, 4 strikeouts through 28 pitches and 21 for strikes. Hicks with a ground ball routinely hit to short. It's thrown out, 1 out, nobody on. Rockies with bullpen activity. Sensatella has gone back to work after his 2 solid innings.
Alex Guerrero is going to come on and pinch hit.
Well, that's a good sign for the Dodgers.
Good sign. He's been sidelined for a while.
With a knee. He was going to DH yesterday. They sat him down for one more day, and here he is. He takes a strike, 0-1. And the left knees of Corey Seager and Justin Turner well on the man. And a call strike to Guerrero, 0-2. Seager at first blush, when he tweaked the knee a couple of days ago, they said, uh-oh, this could be a meniscus or something. They took the MRI, and it's a sprain, not a real serious one. They're going to sit him down for another week to 10 days or so, and they hope and expect, and talking to Dave Roberts this morning, they'll be good to go for opening day. He's behind the curve a little bit, so he's going to have to get an awful lot of at-bats once he is healthy. He could do, he can throw and hit a little bit, but running for now is out of the question. And Guerrero with a base hit into right center field. They had the shift on for him on the left side, and he poked a base hit to the right. It's a good sign, too. Now Jack Murphy coming up. Looks like the latter-day Dennis Eckersley, doesn't it? So Guerrero with the lead off first. And Murphy, left-handed hitter. Big swing. Helmet comes flying off his head.
Unbutton your shirt, take a good rip. Big swing, foul ball. The helmet goes flying. The ball takes a nick out of the catcher's mask. All kinds of moving parts.
One out, one on in the eighth. Dodgers 6-0 as Murphy takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I would imagine that Murphy does see some pitches inside. Starts with the open stance, has a hitch in the swing. Question is he gets the hands back up high enough as he begins the swing on a ball that's up and in on him.
The left-handed hitter, and he takes a breaking ball for a strike. Murphy out of Sarasota, Florida. Came from the Blue Jays in the deal that sent Darwin Barney up to Toronto last year.
Now the hitch in the swing where your hands are dropping is not bad unless you keep your hands way down. Then you're really susceptible to the ball that's up and in.
On 1 and 2 to Jack Murphy. Takes inside. Now, a lot of players, young players, will go down to the Caribbean, Venezuela, play winter ball. Murphy's played winter ball each of the last 4 years in Australia, in Canberra. Now on 2 and 2. Swing and a miss. So he has been retired. First strikeout for Marquez. This is the second out of the 8th. Corey Brown coming up now. Brown, his second at bat. Struck out in the 7th inning against Sensatella. And a call strike to the left-handed hitting Corey Brown. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers, no runs, 3 hits for the Rockies. Brown played collegiately at Oklahoma State. Fouls it off to the left and out of play. He's 30 and has played in 39 major league games. With the Nationals and played 3 games, 1 at bat with the Red Sox last year. High and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. With Micah Johnson on deck. Marquez deals and Brown swings and misses. He's been struck out. That ends the inning. That had some mustard on it. No runs, 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers 6 and Colorado nothing. To expect and more at a new low price for 2016. Watch every out-of-market game with all 30 teams live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Jarrell Cotton is now on in relief for the Dodgers. Listed at 5'11", 195. I exaggerated on both counts, but he can throw hard. He's from the Virgin Islands and now lives up in Michigan because he likes the snow. And his first pitch is outside and high. 1 ball and no strikes to Tony Walters. Cotton, a 20th round pick back in 2012, but the Dodgers have their eye on him. Line drive, base hit, headed toward the right field corner. And Walters will hold at first base. His team down 6-0. And Trace Thompson with a good arm throwing it in from the corner. And the Rockies have a leadoff runner aboard.
Yeah, Cotton, pretty good fastball. The thing that has impressed some of the Dodgers front office personnel, baseball operations, not only the fastball, we can spot it inside and outside. The changeup, and for a young player to have late fade on a changeup early, same arm speed is a big plus.
Here's Rafael Inoa, once upon a time in the Dodger organization. Takes a strike, 0-1. His first at bat of the day. Cotton last year began at Great Lakes, on to Rancho, Tulsa, and Oklahoma City. There's a line drive, base hit into right field. So Walters singles, and now Inoa singles. And the Rockies have their second runner in scoring position all day. Raimel Tapia is coming up. Cotton, you look at him and his mannerisms, like a young Tom Flash Gordon out there. Ball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. What a great career Flash Gordon had. And his son Tavares is doing pretty well down in Miami. Outside and low, 2 balls and no strikes. Noel Cuevas is in the on-deck circle for the Rockies.
Tapia, a chance to just continue to impress. He's had a good spring so far.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike.
So Cotton with 4 different stops at various levels of Dodgers organization last year.
Well, thankfully the elevator was heading up. The 2-1 Tapia swings and misses.
There's the changeup.
Yeah.
There's the changeup. Same arm action. Does not slow it down. Watch the reaction of the hitter. For those that are on the simulcast watching, I mean, Tapia is way out in front.
Tapia 7 for 17 this spring. Left-handed batter, pretty deep crouch. Cotton set. Here's the pitch. Pop foul off to the left and out of play.
Deep crouch is still offering the ball to his shoulder high. Crowd reacting. If a fan evidently botched a chance to have a souvenir.
As if he doesn't feel bad enough, and if his hand doesn't hurt enough, then he gets it from the fans. On 2-2, just outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Good try. Pretty good movement. That ball tailing away from left-handed hitters.
Jarrell Cotton staring in for the sign from Jack Murphy with runners at first and second. 3-2, nobody out. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Cotton strikes out Tapia.
What would have been ball 4. It was down below the knees.
Noel Cuevas is pinch hitting for Ryan Rayburn. Juan Ciriaco is on deck. Or the oldies portion of our program. Players' numbers on their back, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And 60s for that matter. Fly ball. Headed toward deep left center field. It's going to roll to the wall. Walters will score. Noah is on his way home, and he will score on the double by Noel Cuevas. And the Rockies are on the board. The Dodger lead has been trimmed to 6-2.
On this pitch, very good pitch to hit. Cuevas takes advantage of it. So the damage is done. But the Dodgers, again, they had the cutoff man in the right position. The ball coming back into the infield. Just the little things. They work on so many different drills. How do you evaluate a team? Well, are they lined up in the right place for a long distance relay? Yes.
Now here's Ciriaco taking a breaking ball for a strike. 0-1. Juan Ciriaco. So again, through the first 12 games now, Dodgers have Played fundamentally sound baseball. They've been aggressive on the base paths. Hitting well, pitching well. But it is March the 13th. But so far, so good. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a breaking ball for a strike. 1-2 to Siriaco. Kyle Parker is on deck. Cotton on 1-2. Swung on and missed strike 3. Reared back and fired it. Siriaco down on strikes. 2 out. And here's Kyle Parker. Dodgers with 3 in the second, 3 in the third, have been in firm control ever since. And here are the Rockies denting the Dodgers' armor a little bit in the bottom of the 8th. Cotton delivers a strike, and it's 0-1. Parker, 46 games with the Rockies last year, hit 179, and hits one to deep left field and off the wall and over the wall for a ground rule double. Cuevas will score. Parker with the double. 3rd run for the Rockies here in the 8th. It is 6-3 Dodgers. Jack Murphy goes out to talk with Jarrell Cotton and pats him on the back and tries to settle him down.
Well, settle him down, but you cannot throw pitches in the big part of the plate, and that's what he's thrown in this inning.
So the Dodger lead is now 6-3. Ryan Castile is coming up. Right-handed hitter with an open stance. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers, 1 error. The Rockies 3-7-0. And a 1 hopper to short. And that will end the inning. Brandon Hicks throws him out. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 left. We'll go to the 9th. Dodgers 6-3. Picture perfect Chamber of Commerce Sunday afternoon here in the Valley of the Sun. Dodgers 6-3. The game time temperature was 76. Barely a breeze. A Just a lovely day for the Dodgers in front of 11,842, a 6-3 lead. As Micah Johnson leads off in the ninth. Johnson flied to center in his only plate appearance. Now, if you're just joining us, Scott Van Slyke hit a home run today. A.J. Ellis had a single and a beautiful bunt that would produce a run. Cody Bellinger had a couple of hits, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, a run scored, and a walk. And then Clayton Kershaw, no runs and 2 hits in 5 innings, averaging 12 pitches per inning, 60 and 48 of them for strikes. Struck out 3, walked 1. Johnson with a ground ball to short. Speedy runner is thrown out by a step and a half. First out of the 9th inning. Jimmy Garcia, no runs and a hit. Adam Libator, a perfect 7th inning. Jarrell Cotton struggled in the 8th. Now here's Thompson. Trace struck out in his first at-bat. Plays off a breaking ball. It's 0-1. Thompson fouls it off to the right.
Well, the normal cast of players that they brought in today with his Dodger ball club. Very good afternoon. Jock Peterson hit the ball hard twice. 2-run single in the second, then lying down in the 6th inning. So those swings were much better.
Ethier hit the ball about as hard as a human could. That triple in the 3rd inning. Pulled it down the right field line. And Thompson loops a base hit into right field. Has a notion about stretching it into a double and retreats to first.
And Trace Thompson has shown that he has the ability to hit the ball and hit it with authority the opposite way. That ball's not handled cleanly by Parker in right field. Thompson was already in position. He made the turn at first base, made it hard. He was just looking and waiting to see if there was going to be a bobble of the ball. Had there been, he'd been at second.
Matt West is warming up in the Dodger pen. He will pitch the 9th. 1 out and 1 on. As Elian Herrera gets his first plate appearance. Takes high. 1 ball, no strikes. And Rico Noel is on deck. Herrera, of course, came up in the Dodger organization. Spent a little time in Milwaukee, and now he is back. He swings and fouls it off to the left. Sold out Salt River Fields game today. Almost 12,000 for the Dodgers. 3 sellouts in a row. Angels, Cubs, and back in Glendale, and this one over here. One and 2 to Elian Herrera. Here's the pitch. Just inside and low. 2-2. German Marquez, the 5th pitcher of the day for the Rockies, and a chopper to second base. They throw to second and get the force out there. Trace Thompson went in standing up.
Did not slide.
What he should have been
2
sliding.
things that happen. A, you have to slide there in case the ball is bobbled, or at the last second the guy cannot get out of his glove and throw the second base back. The other thing from staying healthy, if you slide, you're going to reduce the leg injuries. So that is something that will be discussed with Trace Thompson.
When you go running into a bag standing up, you got two issues at play. One, the ankle, and two, the hamstring with that sudden stop.
And the knees, too.
Yeah. So
the other thing, too, if the ball is bobbled and you're going in and you're not sliding, you're not going to reach the bag as quickly as you would if you are sliding. It allows you options. There's nowhere to go if you're standing up and the play's that close at the bag.
Generally speaking, a slide, the worst thing that can happen is a little strawberry.
Those are always fun.
Quick toss down to first base as Herrera gets back. Two out in the ninth. Rico Noel fouls it off to the right. Well, you root for this kid Noel to get on base just so you can watch him run, because he is.
I'd like to see him hit a gapper. The left center or right center.
Touch them all. One and two. Noel takes a call, strike three, and that will end the inning. No runs, one hit. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Dodgers 6-3. Who is got a cell phone, and must be his young son, and he is got a blue beard. My guess is it's not natural. New pitcher for the Dodgers as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Could be mistaken. He's wearing a Dodger uniform. Matt West is the new pitcher. He too is wearing a Dodger uniform and has no blue beard. West 6'1", 230, came over from the Blue Jays middle of last year and made 2 appearances with the Dodgers and 12 appearances in Tulsa. First pitch at the bottom of the ninth to Michael Tuchman. Pride of Peoria. Four years. In Peoria. Actually grew up in Peoria, 4 years at Bradley. A fine institution, I might you're laughing. We can spell ASU, pal. All right? Just saying.
We went by the campus of Arizona State University today. As the guy from Bradley was following me because you could not find the ballpark.
Guilty. Meanwhile, poor Michael Tuchman, a fine human being, is taking a call third strike.
He got a bad call.
Right you are, pal. I'll settle for that. 1 out. Matt West strikes him out. Dodgers 6 runs and 10 base hits. And the Rockies 3 runs and 7. Fly ball toward the right field corner, slicing foul and out of play, and it's 0-1. Max George is the batter. Fella caught the ball in the stands and was profoundly indifferent about it. Said, anybody want it? And somebody said, yeah, I'll take it. West deals, breaking ball, outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. West is from Houston. A 2nd-round pick of the Texas Rangers back in 2007.
The Dodgers acquired him for cash from the Rays May of last year. Max George is out of Colorado, Parker to be exact.
Well, wherever he's from, he's heading back to the dugout after swinging and missing. There's 2 out in the 9th. So Matt West has come in. Struck out the first 2 batters he has faced. And Tony Walters stepping in. Kershaw 5 innings today, no runs, 2 hits, and just 60 pitches. Garcia, Lipitor, a couple of shutout innings. Jarrell Cotton struggled in the 8th. Gave up 3 runs and 4 hits. But Matt West is an out away from Dodgers winning their 8th this spring. Outside and high. Jock Peterson, while going 1 for 4 today, hit the ball solidly twice and drove in 2. Van Slyke hit a home run. Ethier lined a triple into the right field corner in the 3rd. A.J. Ellis, a single and a terrific bunt that would drive in a run. Bellinger, another solid day. Couple of doubles, a run scored and a walk, and 2 RBIs. West misses inside. So all in all, a good day for the Dodgers. Above and beyond the score, they just played the game well. Good pitching, good hitting. Foul off to the left and out of play. And fundamentally sound, and again, once again, aggressive on the base pass. Tony Walters single to right in the 8th inning. On 3-2 with 2 out. Grounded foul up the first baseline. Past Eric Young. Doesn't have the first step that he used to. And the 3rd base coach for the Rockies is Stu Cole. EY.
That's why EY is about 30 feet past beyond the first base coaching box. It is outlined on the grass.
Fly ball, right field. Trace Thompson going back, and it is gone. A home run. Tony Walters, a 2-out home run to right, makes it 6-4.
Rockies a late surge. That pitch, a very good pitch to hit. First guy to make contact with the ball not only did not wind up with the ball, did a face plant on the grass.
So you think it's easy to play this game, huh? So Rafael Inoa is the batter now. One-time Dodger prospect. Takes a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Dodgers 6 and the Rockies 4. Here's a call strike to Inoa. One ball, 1 strike, and 2 out. Mel Tapia is on deck. The Dodgers would prefer not to see him today. Breaking ball with jelly legs Inoa, and it's 1-2. West, a powerfully built right-hander. Built very much like Joe Blanton. Big, thick legs. And here's the 1-2 inside. 2-2. Dodgers with 3 in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, and been pretty much in cruise control since then. Rockies with 3 in the 8th and 1 here in the 9th. Dave Roberts sitting in the bridge chair immediately next to pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. Honeycutt is the only returning coach. As well, he should be. 11 years as a pitching coach of the Dodgers, and no team has a lower collective ERA in his time than the Dodgers. You know, it takes inside, and it's 3-2. So West gets the first 2 batters, strikes him out. Walters hits the home run. Inoa has worked the count full. There's nothing doing in the bullpen. West is going to finish it up one way or the other, as Inoa fouls it off to the left and out of play. Where we are is about as far a drive as there is for the Dodgers from Glendale to here, about 45 minutes. By way of comparison, when the Dodgers were in Vero Beach, the closest trip was Port St. Louis, and that was a 45-minute journey. Grounded into the hole and short. Brandon Hicks can't field it cleanly, even if he had probably a hit for Inoa, and the Rockies stay alive.
Really set up with Inoa running, impossible play to make the fielding play to the backhand side and then stop, turn, and throw in time.
So an infield hit for Inoa. And here's Ramel Tapia to bat. Well, that's one of the big differences between the Grapefruit League and the Cactus League. It's the proximity of all the teams. Makes it a much more convenient deal to go from one camp to the next. Now with 2 out, outside and high, 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, initially, they have ruled that as an error. That is a tough error to get. There's a simple way to field it. Give the official scorer a glove and say, here, you make the play and get him out.
Tapia swings and misses, and it's 1-1. Our next radio broadcast will be on Thursday with the world champion Kansas City Royals in Glendale. Fouled off to the left and out of play. When next on television, next Friday, the Diamondbacks here at Salt River. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the 9th, and West delivers and a foul back and out of play. Off the aluminum siding. Again, the 1-2. Tapia. Outside and high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Fortunately, it was outside. That was a rolling breaking ball that had trouble written on it if it had been a strike.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Tapia will not go quietly into the good night. Matt West finding out how difficult it is to record that 27th out.
Yeah, Tapia did something people may wonder. He was smelling the bat. You foul the ball off, there is a distinct smell of the ball and the friction going off of the bat.
And he fouls another one back.
This time he doesn't smell the lumber. Oh, yes, he did.
Kind of a smell of a little bit of a burn. The friction between the ball and bat. Now the 2-2. Grounded slowly up the first base line. Segedin's got it, steps on the bag. The game is over, and the Dodgers hang on and beat the Colorado Rockies on this Sunday afternoon 6-4. For the Dodgers, 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. They left 9 men on base. For the Rockies, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. They left 6. Clayton Kershaw, splendid today, gets the win. Jordan Lyles takes the loss. Matt West will record the save in a game that took 2 hours and 53 minutes. So that's a wrap for us from Salt River Fields. We'll return to Sportsnet LA on Friday as the Dodgers face the Diamondbacks right here. First pitch at 1:10. Rick Monday, Charlie Steiner saying good night and goodbye. And for those of us on the Dodger Radio Network, we're going to take a break. Come right back. Dodgers beat the